It's almost a nuclear option on the top 10 list this past week. Only 2 titles managed to survive. Which ones are they? We're gonna find out coming right up. Hello everybody and welcome to the countdown of the top 10 best-selling light novels in Japan for the week of the 6th to the 12th of 2018. First off, let me say I'm really sorry because I'm posting this super late compared to what I usually do, but maybe if you're eagle-eyed, you're noticing that the video looks a little bit different today. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but let's just say I do apologize. Between life and work and a lot of stuff going on. Just my schedule has been really weird. I'm hoping to get back on track, particularly once school gets back in. It should make things a lot easier. But like I said at the intro, only 2 titles from last week managed to survive on the list this week. Have a whole bunch of new titles to talk about, so we're gonna get right into it. At number 10, with 6,246 copies sold, Bokura no Nanokakan Sensou. Or, in English, it's Our 7-Day War. Now, there's no English language official license for this title. In May, it was announced that this is actually getting a brand new anime series. This is actually an older series. In fact, this particular book, it initially released as sort of a one-off, but then there's now been sort of volumes that have followed it. And it is considered basically one of the top kids' books in Japan, apparently, from what I could see. On a hot day right before the summer vacation, all first-year male students of the 2nd class from a junior high school disappear. Was it an accident? A group abduction? In fact, they were hiding in an abandoned factory near the river and used it as a liberation area to rebel against the adults. The adults are in great confusion by the huge and unexpected operations cooperated by the female students, entangled with real abduction cases, a corrupted mayor election, and even involving parents and television reporters who are thrilled by the liberation broadcast and barricade. So again, this is a really older title. I don't really know why all of a sudden it seems to have been popular and hit the top 10 this week. I couldn't really find any news about it other than that it's got this new anime series that's going to be based on it. So I don't know, maybe there was a news article that made that a bigger thing in the past week or so. I don't know. If you have any insights, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. At number 9, with 7,166 copies sold, volume number 14 of Nejimaki Seirei Senki, Tenkyou no Alderamin, or as we have it in English, Alderamin on the Sky. This one we do not have an official English translation of the light novel series. There was a 13-episode anime which aired on Crunchyroll. Now this is actually the final volume of this series, so it is over as of this one. The mighty Katyarna Empire is currently embroiled in a war with the neighboring Kyorka Republic. Within an unspecified corner of this empire, a certain young man was reluctantly preparing to take the high-grade military officer exam owing to mysterious circumstances. His name is Itai. As a man, Itai abhors war, is slothful by nature, and worships the female form. At the time, no one could have possibly predicted that a person like him would become a military figure worthy of being called a legendary general. The young Itai, armed with his superb talents as a soldier, struggles to survive in a world ravaged by war. This tale will recount his tumultuous life up until this point, as the curtains are drawn for a spectacular chronicle of fantastical warfare. Now this is actually a series that I've said in the past I would really like to see licensed, just because again, like these sort of alt-world warfare tales are not really something we have a lot of. I mean, the closest we have is probably, well, Tanya the Evil, really. And I mean, that one still has an isekai element and has that whole element of the gods and chosen by the gods and all that kind of stuff. Whereas this is really strictly about a military action going on and war and everything else. I'd really like to see this one get licensed. I don't know whether it's going to be less likely now that it's actually completed in Japan or more likely. At number 8, with 8,257 copies sold, volume number 2 of Hataraku Maou-sama SP, also known as The Devil is a Part-Timer SP. Now, the main series we do have licensed in English. Of course, I've reviewed pretty much every volume that's available. Well, volume 11 just came out today, so I haven't read that one yet, but I've read all the other ones, and we even covered this series in the Light Novel podcast. So we do have it out in English. It is a great series, a lot of fun, about the demon lord Satan having to run away to our world when he's defeated by the hero Amelia in his own world, and ends up having to take a part-time job at like a McDonald's type place in order to survive in modern day Japan. It's a really good series. Now, these ones are kind of interesting. So I guess in Japan, when the Blu-ray releases came out of The Devil is a Part-Timer, the anime, which only covered like the first 2 volumes, they actually bundled 2 special books with different volumes. And now this one is volume, they numbered it as 2.8. So it's actually set between the events of volume 2 and volume 3. And so these SP books are re-releases of those books with, I guess, some additional material. So again, it's kind of like a special volume. It's sort of side stories set in between existing volumes that we have. And again, I guess these ones have already been released in Japan, but this is sort of additional stuff. And it's the first time, I guess, that people can get their hands on it without having bought the DVDs or the Blu-rays of the Devil is a Part-Time anime series. I don't know if we'll ever get these ones in English. I don't think it's that huge a deal, given that we have the main series and we are way beyond any story points that this particular 2 books covered. I'm pretty sure there aren't going to be any more than this unless, I guess, the author decides to make it more of a running thing, but again, I'm not too sure. At number 7, with 8,841 copies sold, volume number 4 of Itai no wa iya nano de Bougyoryoku ni Kyokufuri Shitai to Omoimasu. Wow, that's a mouthful. AKA, I hate being in pain, so I think I'll make a full defense build. We do not have an English license for this series. Honjo Keida was invited by her friend Shiromine Rise to play a VR MMO. I don't hate games, but painful things are a little... No, I hate it very, very much. Eh? The pain would be reduced if I placed stats on defense power? Then the only place where I can place it is there, right? Right? Solidly fortify everything into defense. Now here I come. So basically it's about a girl who's playing a VR MMO that decides to play a pure defense character. I don't really know how that pans out, but it's kind of interesting because all 4 volumes of this series have hit the top 10 when they've released. So clearly it's pretty popular. So I'd be curious if you know more about this series. Feel free to leave those comments in the description down below, because I'm just not too sure what the actual story is of this particular series. At number 6, with 9,895 copies sold, one of the survivors from last week's list, Boku no Hero Academia, the movie, Futari no Hero. So this is the novelization of the My Hero Academia film, which is actually getting a North American release in September. They've already started, I guess, running PVs with the English dub as well as the Japanese language. I believe it's come out in Japan already. I think it released this month in Japan, and so yeah, we're getting it next month. The short story light novels and the manga are both licensed by Viz, although this particular book. I don't know. I don't think it's part of the whole light novel short story volumes that Viz has licensed. The anime itself is streaming also on Crunchyroll. So this one, I guess, the climactic finals are over and UA is getting ready for the summer training camp. Deku and All Might receive an invitation from a certain person to go overseas to a giant artificial moving city island called I-Island. This island, a kind of science Hollywood that gathers the knowledge of scientists from around the world, is holding an exhibition called I-Expo, showcasing the results of quirk and hero item research. In the midst of all this, Deku meets a quirkless girl named Melissa and remembers his own quirkless past. Out of the blue, the impregnable security system the island boasts is hacked by villains, and all the people on the island are taken as hostages. Now, a plan that could shake hero society has been put into motion. The man who holds the key to it all is the #1 hero and symbol of peace, All Might. So that's basically, I guess, what the movie is about. I haven't gotten into My Hero Academia, which is kind of silly, really, because it sounds like the kind of series I'd really be into, but I guess I just haven't really been watching a lot of anime or reading a lot of manga lately, and I guess when I find some time, I'll have to check this one out. At number 5, with 10,453 copies sold, it's the other survivor from the list last week, and that is the Kadokawa Bunko version of Mirai no Mirai. So yes, Mirai of the future manages to survive yet again on the list, although at least this week it doesn't occupy 2 spots. This one, of course, the novelization of the film that released in Japan back in July. It's continued to be on this list in a very strong position for the weeks leading up to the film's release and in the weeks after the film's release, which kind of says to me that apparently this story is really speaking to people in Japan. We do have this one licensed. It was just announced at Anime Expo that Yen On is going to be releasing this one. Given the time frame that books usually need to be released in English, it is most likely we will not see this book get released until either late this year or more likely early next year. Again, it's kind of interesting that it seems to be following in Yen's sort of continuing efforts to license sort of one-shot based on movie light novels. In fact, today Yen On released Fireworks. What's it called? The Should We See It From the Bottom or the Side, which is actually a light novel adaptation of a movie as well. So seems to be a thing that Yen's been jumping on lately, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing this one, just because A, it comes from a pretty good pedigree in terms of the director of the film, but also, like I said, it's been doing so well in terms of the light novel sales. I'm just kind of curious to see what that appeal is. At number 4, with 21,146 copies sold, volume number 7 of Sword Art Online Alternative, Gun Gale Online. This one is licensed for English by Yen On. They're releasing volume 2 September 18th of 2018. Series is written by Keiichi Sigsawa, who is the author of Kino's Journey. There was just a 12-episode anime which streamed on Crunchyroll and covered volumes 1 to 3. A brand new battlefield awaits. Karen Kohirui Maki is a college student who stands at an imposing 6 feet. While her complex about her height makes it hard for her to make friends in the real world, the VR MMO Gun Gale Online changes everything. Now equipped with her ideal mini avatar and clad in a pink battlesuit, Karen is ready to shoot up the world of GGO as Len. Before long, she meets the beautiful Pitohui, and the 2 rare female players become fast friends. Little does Len know that this friendship is the key to her entry in the first ever Squad Jam, a team-based battle royale that echoes the famous Bullet of Bullets tournament. Now, I did read the first volume of this and reviewed it. It was pretty good, actually. Again, very much focused on the whole gaming aspect, much more the actual combat battle royale. There wasn't a lot of plot, if you want to say about it. It was really just, it really was Sigsawa just being able to indulge his love of guns and having people shoot at each other, really. But but it was still pretty enjoyable. At number 3, with 22,259 copies sold, volume number 6 of Tenshi Tachi no Kagai Katsudo, or roughly translates to Angels Extracurricular Activities. There's no English license for this series. I couldn't find a whole lot actually on this series. It seems like only one volume comes out every year or so. Basically all I could get the gist of it was that it is a story about 3 angels who decide to do extracurricular activities. So it seems like each book kind of follows either one of the angels doing a particular activity. It looks like this one, the rough idea I got is that it has to do with one of the angels and their part-time job at a restaurant. So again, it seems to be sort of a long-going series because, as I said, it's been basically coming out at a volume about a year or so. And actually this one, I believe, if I recall, it's been almost 2 or 3 years since volume 5 now that volume 6 has come out. So this one, it's been an even longer wait, which maybe that accounts for why people have been pretty excited for this one. At number 2, with 24,412 copies sold, volume number 9 of Ryuo no Oshigoto, or as we have it released in English, The Ryuo's Work is Never Done. This one is licensed in English by Bookwalker. It is an exclusive. You can only buy it in ebook format from Bookwalker. They released volume 4 July 17th. There was also a 12-episode anime which streamed on Crunchyroll. Now, I didn't watch the anime, and I've only read the first volume of this series, so I really have no idea, but I couldn't find how many volumes this anime covered. So if you're familiar, if you've been reading the light novels, if you watch the anime, maybe leave that in the comments down below. Just how many volumes did the anime cover of the light novel series? Because I'm kind of curious. A comedy about a live-in apprentice who won't take no for an answer and the most intense shogi matches this century, all supervised by Sayuki, Osaka's young professional shogi team. Open front door and there's a grade school girl sitting there. I'm here to be your apprentice, as you promised. Claiming the shogi world's strongest title, Ryuo, at the age of 16, Yaichi Kuzuryu comes home to find a third-grade girl waiting for him, Ai Hinatsuru, a 9-year-old. Come again? Apprentice? Huh? Don't you remember? He did not, but that's how the two came to share the same roof. Yaichi's spirit was on the verge of breaking, but Ai's unyielding enthusiasm reignites the fire within him. Now, I reviewed the first volume of this series. There was a lot of good stuff to it, I will give it credit. My problem was just the fan service aspect of a 9-year-old. It was a little creepy. But that's just me. Apparently the series gets much better. I know Frog-kun on Twitter, who also writes for Anime News Network, I know that she was just as hard on the first volume as I was, but she's continued to read, and it sounds like the story gets much better and those elements kind of get a little bit put aside as the series progresses. So maybe it's one that I should check out further. Like I said, there were elements of it that I really liked, but I just kind of felt like it was made a little muddy because of some of the other creepy stuff. Finally, at number 1, with 68,612 copies sold, volume number 26 of Mahoka Koko no Retose, or as we have it in English, The Irregular at Magic High School. We do have this licensed by Yen On. They're releasing volume 9 September 18th of 2018. There was a 26-episode anime which covered volumes 1 to 7, but excluded volume 5 for some reason. You can stream that on Crunchyroll. Magic. It is a product of neither legends nor fairy tales, but instead has become a technology of reality since a time unknown to people. Supernatural power became a technology systematized through magic, while magic became a technical skill. A supernatural power user became a magic technician. Magic technicians, in short magicians, are nurtured through magic high schools and universities. This is a story about a defective elder brother and low achiever, a perfect, flawless younger sister and high achiever. After both siblings entered a magic high school, the stage of daily turbulence was unveiled. Now, I only read the first 2 volumes of this series. I did watch the anime, and I think that was part of the reason why I couldn't really get into the light novels as much. I'm still not sure whether I should just kind of skip it or whether I should maybe just let it sit on the back burner for a while and maybe go back to it. Now, part of the reason that this one I think is getting so much in terms of its sales, aside from just the fact that this series has remained fairly ridiculously popular, is that supposedly it is starting to lead up to the end of the series. They haven't actually come out and initially announced, as far as I know, what will be the last volume of the series, but it is coming soon. So I think maybe that's why a lot of people are jumping on this one. I don't know. Or like I said, it's just because it's crazy popular even after 26 volumes. This week I want to say special thanks to Renzos, Yuki Ali, Fixlab.com, and Patrick Mbayi, and all the rest of my patrons over on Patreon. With their continued support, I get to buy novels so that I can review them here on the channel. I am able to pay for the hosting for the Light Novel Podcast, and I kind of mentioned that things might be looking a little different to you. I just today upgraded my video equipment. I'm still kind of learning it a little bit, so hopefully if this looks a little rough, hopefully I can smoothen it out. But all of these things have been made possible through the support of Patreon, and of course Patreon will continue to help me pay for this equipment because it kind of went on credit card, but it's all good. In short, it's just that, you know what, it gives me something that I can depend on to help continue to grow this channel and make this channel better and try to do some new and interesting things and just in general try and advance the fandom of light novels because I love them and I really want more people to get into them and discover them as well. So those are the top 10 best-selling light novels in Japan. Again, I am sorry that I'm doing this so late, but well, I'll try and get myself back on track this coming week. But hey, at least the video is here. So if you're brand new to the channel and you love light novels, you should subscribe. I do this countdown every week, as well as 2 to 3 reviews, news, and I post the Light Novel Podcast here as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye for now.